phone up somewhere so we can see it.
I'm gonna hold on to it.
You just gotta do it. My name is Joshua Norton. I'm here to give y'all a little bit of information on RC aircraft. Imagine looking up in the sky and seeing something fly, very graceful. Now imagine that you actually have control of that. Let's take that a step further and imagine that you actually built that. It ends up in the end being a very rewarding process. RC aircraft is a very interesting and some people might even say exhilarating hobby. Some of the problems that keep people from wanting to get involved with this particular hobby is cost, apparently. On flighttest.com, user Flying Monkey in May 10th, 2013 says that for years the cost to get into RC aircraft was $500 or more. He then goes on to say that most people can get in for a little under $200. Depending on what you use and what you use to start off with, you can actually get into this hobby for a little bit less than $200. It's really not that bad, and depending on which route you decide that you want to take, you can actually be pretty cost efficient for yourself. Just to kind of give you a quick overview of different types of aircraft, within the RC community, there's so many different styles of aircraft that you can have. Just to touch on some, this is it's called an S-Bach, but it's a foam airplane, so a sport aerobatic airplane. And then we have helicopters. This is a Blade 300X. This is a Blade Nano CPX. So different sizes there. They go all the way up to 700X, which gets pretty good size. This right here is actually considered a multi-rotor. Some people call this a quadcopter because there's 4 blades, but they do have some that have 6, 7, even up to 8 blades. These are really coming popular because a lot of people are getting into aerial photography, and FPV is really what these are used for. Now within those different types of aircraft, there's different styles of flying. You have pattern flying, which are really used for scale aircraft. You have sport aerobatic flying, and then you have something called 3D. 3D is actually a really unique style of stunt flying. You see the airplanes that will fly and they do all the spins and real fast turns. That's a part of it. However, it's not everything. On www.tested.com, Terry Dunn on June 4th of 2014 says that with fixed wing aircraft, the definition of 3D flying is relatively simple. It includes any intentional maneuver performed below the airplane's stall speed. So what that means is once the airplane reaches its stall speed, typically it will actually just fall out of the air. That's considered a stall. So people that are really actually skilled within their craft get in and they learn how to actually use the larger control surfaces. This is actually a 3D aircraft. The larger control surfaces to keep the airplane in the air. It's a very tedious, very based off of timing, and it takes a lot of skill and a lot of practice to actually get there. When you first start to get into the hobby, there's different options you can go. You can actually get a trainer aircraft, which has typically the wings on top. They're very stable. They have something in the wings called dihedral, which is kind of a V. It just makes it, stabilizes it out. Or you can go the route which I suggest, and you can actually buy a flight simulator. And you can hook this up on your computer, and trust me, hitting the reset button is a lot cheaper than crashing a $200, $300 airplane that you bought. The simulators are very realistic. They have a real flight simulator, and they also have a Phoenix simulator, which is what I use. Anytime I practice and I'm trying to get into a new maneuver, I practice it on the simulator before I actually put it on the aircraft to try to actually save myself some money. Within that flying style, or within those different flying styles and the simulators, you can practice everything from the scale flying to the 3D stunt flying to just learn how to balance a helicopter. Helicopters are a lot more difficult to fly than airplanes, and the simulators will actually help you get into that transition. David from myrctopia.com says that making a solid choice for your first RC airplane is key to enjoying success and to this exhilarating hobby. Another thing that is also mentioned by Troy Built Models from Sarasota, Florida is master it on the computer and you will have an easy time flying your airplane. The biggest thing is learning how to transfer everything that you're learning from the simulator to the aircraft, but it's really not that difficult. In conclusion, RC aircraft is a great hobby. It takes a little bit of time to get into it, but however, once you get in and get practice, it can be very fun, very rewarding, and very family-oriented hobby. Thank you for listening.